Hi, welcome back to On the Bar.
Woo.
It's been such a chaotic week, and I am so glad to be with you guys right now.
I know.
Like,
Yeah,
I miss you guys, and I feel like now it's been established in the routine. Like this time is gonna be like hangout time with the girlies, and so I just love that. So
my serotonin like levels like evened out from.
I know, right?
Yeah.
There has to be something to that, like once you get in the room with your friends, just energy, hormones. I don't know. You all get in sync like our periods.
Our Bluetooth syncs up.
Please, our Bluetooth diddling.
Our airdrop turns on. Yeah. For 10 minutes. Sorry.
But I'm excited. Like, what have you guys been up to? I know for me, it's been like a really hectic week.
Yeah, it was
I
so
think
hectic. So
yeah.
crazy.
Cosmically, there has to be something happening that like, because not only for myself, but like I feel like everybody across the board, it's just been like shit's hitting the fan. So I'm like, I don't know if there's a meteor that's like been crossing through.
There is a meteor that's passing Earth, actually. There is. I keep on, I work in like an office job, I think that's been said, and on my computer I always get the little like Windows article updates. There's a meteor that's passing Earth.
Oh my gosh.
It's passing Earth. I think it either just passed Earth or it's passing Earth.
That meteor was like cursed or like cosmically was like fucking up all of our fucking lives.
Yeah.
Also, this week I think it's this week is when Venus goes into retrograde. It's retrograding through
Until April.
through Aries into Pisces.
Let me check an
Ooh,
app.
That sounds
I got this from
scary.
That's what you're getting. That's what you're getting. I got that from.
I just recently had to delete that one because I wasn't about to pay like this, even though it's
Right?
so good.
Right?
Oh, I pay.
So
I pay
good.
for it.
But I just have
What
too
is
many
it?
subscriptions right now. Like,
It is an oh my gosh, it's an astrology app by this lady named Chani Nichols. And it's actually I love it. Like I love that app.
you put me onto that.
Chani, I love your app, girl.
I love that.
But she just has like daily horoscopes, and then also like the big transits that are happening through your life, and then obviously your chart and like the houses and things. I pay for it because every week she does like this week for you astrologically based off your rising sign, but then she also has an actual podcast that's free in the app and in Spotify, and she just talks about the astrology of the week like generally.
Oh.
All these astrology apps used to be so much better, and now all of them are like transitioning into pay to play.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just annoys me. I'm like, just tell me about myself.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
Literally.
why do I have to pay?
Yeah.
Literally.
That's how I feel about CoStar.
No,
I got
seriously.
rid of CoStar a while ago. I use the Pattern now. Just it's
The
cheaper.
Pattern.
Or
It's
there's-
cheaper?
Or it's free rather.
Pattern has everything that I want to look on for the Pattern. They also make me pay.
That's true. There is a lot of like paid things on there.
Yeah, that's why I just like I got the free trial of Chani, and then I was like I was really down bad at the time I found the app, and the
so
little
real.
like weekly podcasts like really were helping me.
Mm-hmm.
And we get into that conversation about like replacing the universe with God or whatever, you know, things like
They
that.
are one and the same.
Ooh.
That
But
was a great conversation we had once in our apartment, and
Yeah.
I treasure that conversation.
but because I just think about that every time I'm on that app, I'm like, I'm kind of sounds similar. But anyways, long story short, I pay for it because I decided
Yeah.
I just need it.
It's your treat.
No,
Yeah.
you're allowed to spend your money how you want to.
Yeah.
I was like, I
Oh,
just need
the
this app.
amount of subscriptions I have currently, like that's why I didn't. That's the only reason why I didn't.
If she ever does a free month trial, though, I do recommend it. And she
Yes.
does them often. Well, not often, but for really, really big astrological events,
Mhm.
she'll do a free trial.
Well, I was like looking around the app and like there it just seems like such an interesting holistic approach to everything.
It is.
I
Girl,
do-
I love your app.
You can really put a lot of thought into
Sponsor us.
it. Yeah,
I love your app. I'm like,
We're big
genuinely
astrology girlies.
Love it.
We love you.
But yeah, like what's been up with everybody? Under
You
under
go.
this,
You
I'll,
go
I'll
first.
share because
Yeah.
mine's like the calmest. I feel
Okay.
like.
Yeah.
I just like produced an event this week at Cal
Yes,
Arts,
you did.
and it went really, really well.
Yes. Explain the event.
So at Cal Arts, I run a club called Black Arts Collective, And during the month of Black History Month, we put on Future Fest. And that is where we have events throughout the month to celebrate the Black students on campus. And there's this thing that happens every Thursday night at CalArts called a gallery night. And it's where people will put up their art, and they'll have like food and drinks, and you can just walk around campus and see like performances and art and all the jazz, right? And so the last month of February is Black Arts Collective's gallery night. So we put on our gallery night last night. We had performances and then DJs and like art gallery viewing. It was like, it went so much better than it has in the past, just because we're like learning and understanding how the school works better. And I feel like I'm just growing into like my event production hat more, and just like learning more and more about how I want my events to look, and how to the thing I learned the most from this event was how to like conduct others to get the things done, because I think in a lot of other events I've like put way too much on myself to get it all done, but like for a huge event like what we did last night, like I can't do every aspect of that, and letting go of that has been really hard for me in a weird way. But yeah, it went really, really well. We had a beautiful lighting setup. We had like 6 or 7 artists put up their work in a gallery viewing, and then we had about 9 different performances, or 8 performers. Yeah, we had 8 performers, and some dancers and some musicians, and then we had free airbrush t-shirts, which was a huge hit.
Yeah,
I'm so happy that happened, y'all. Like, that happening was like something that has been in the works for 2 years, and it finally happened, and I knew it was gonna be cool, and everybody was doubting me, and then it finally happened, and it was really amazing to happen. And then we had free waist beads as well, and yeah, it was just 10 out of 10. Shout out to everyone that worked on the event last night. My heart is so full, and I'm so grateful that I have the community that I do at CalArts to work with. Yeah,
that just honestly made my day, hearing you so excited about your like watching, like just listening to you like talk about how well that went and like how excited you were. I'm so like genuinely so happy for you. Like you,
because you've seen, like, you saw like kind of the progression of when events at CalArts didn't go well. Yeah,
and just like you in this like group and like the collective, and like trying to like get all these events to working, and like kind of getting it, but then like kind of not to like your liking, and like it's so cool, because now it's like you're only in your junior year, so like there's only up, you know, like
I'm excited,
you know, and then it's like you lead an example for the next people that come in.
That's the weird thought to think about, like, okay, now we have to like train the freshmen on how to do this, because no one also trained, like me and then my roommate Drizzy, like no one trained us how to do events at the school. And like doing events at the school specifically is different than like, right, like anywhere you go, you have to learn the system, and no one trained us how to do the system, so it just has been a huge learning curve.
You guys use Google Drive?
Google Drive for like
do you have one specifically for the club?
Yes.
Best thing ever, obviously, use a Google Drive. Just put like every document ever in that, and give it to the freshmen so that they can have it year after year after year. Yeah. So that like
there's like 3 different Black Arts Collective Google Drives, and it's just it's like a mess. Like that's the thing, is the school itself is just a mess. So there's not like I don't know. It's like we have to just physically train them.
Yeah.
Because there's like the management at the school is a big turnover, so things aren't like consistent for the groups. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. Like at my school, the multicultural center was it's like what, 60, almost 70 years old. So there's 60 to 70 years of like people doing things. Yeah, because they got founded in the 60s. Shout out to those Santa Clara students. They were all really cool. So by the time when I was doing like stuff like that, like there was a straight pathway to how to do it. But yeah, that's like, honestly, if you think about longevity, my biggest advice is like either y'all don't have to do it, because one thing about me, I hate organizing Google Drive, especially when disorganized. No.
Yeah.
But you can always get somebody else or tell the people who run the club next year, like, hey, we think that this would be really good for the club.
Yeah.
And then I love delegation. That's another thing. I love
Delegation.
I love delegation.
Delegation is interesting. I feel so bad. I be feeling bad to tell people what to do. Like, that's like a place I don't love living in.
Yeah, that's been my whole experience trying to figure this shit out, honestly.
Right?
Like, it's good. Like, I feel so much more comfortable because you guys have been really reassuring, so I really appreciate that. Because I was a bossy little girl. I was like, as a little girl, like on the playground, I had like my friend group, but then like I remember my mom has this story
Sterling, like,
where I was like, hey, I was playing with like my group of friends, and they were all like little boys, right? And then I see my mom come in to pick me up, and so I stand up and I said, okay, so I'm gonna be back tomorrow, and I'll like check on what you're doing. And then I like run to go tell like hug my mom, but she was just like, what project were you having all of them work on?
She was like, so like what's happening?
Right. Like,
I love that.
So from then, like, I just wanted to like, I think it's also part of being a woman, being told and conditioned that like you can't be assertive and the things that are, you know, approved of in men with the assertiveness, like dominance or like just being sure of yourself and a vision is something that's wrong. That you shouldn't do that. But I think that there's a balance of being like feminine and getting a point across without, you know, I don't know. I'm just trying to navigate that right now as well.
Yeah.
But to your point about sharing your knowledge with like the upcoming freshmen, I feel like that's such a beautiful like place. It's like a part of the life cycle of being an artist is like being able to share your experiences with people who are new and, you know, just getting started.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's so special. Also, it'll solidify your knowledge. Like, there's a hack, I guess, so like learning things or studying is that like if you can verbalize and teach someone else the subject, whatever it might be, it solidifies it in your mind, you know. It's, I guess, like and then as you go on and if you are struggling with explaining something, then that's where you know like, oh, I need to do my research on that and sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I
like that.
It's also really fun specifically in the niche of like clubs and freshmen in college. My favorite thing, I love seeing like the passion or like love for whatever it is form with freshmen, and it forms differently. Like that was what I had the most trouble with, was like when I was letting go and like teaching new board member stuff, like they would have different forms of like passion and I'd be like, you guys just don't, that's not saying, you don't understand. But then I would have to tell myself like it like forms in everybody differently, and also like somebody who is a freshman or sophomore is not in their junior year, and like your junior year, like you're so much more invested in your college experience by your junior or senior year. But it's like so much fun. Like you're gonna like see a little freshman come in and be like, I want to join, I want to do this, and it's really cool.
I hope so. I think people like the thing with Cal Arts is it just does not function like a normal school, like at all. And so I think people come in and then they get a little disillusioned because they see like that things don't work how they are used to or how it worked in high school. And we saw that a bit this year with like some of the freshmen, and it's just hard. Now it's like the thing of like trying to build back in the excitement for them. Because also like truthfully, like I don't even have excitement for the school. I have an excitement for event planning.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, love event
like
planning.
It's the fact of having a vision, being able to have that vision come to life, and then
executing it
and
having people enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
real.
So I don't know, I think we'll see. It's gonna be whatever it wants to be. Every year the collective has been at Cal Arts is a different year. It's never been the same since the moment it started.
Cammy's year, top 2.
Yeah.
Thank
Top
you.
2 and she's not number 2.
Thank you.
Exactly.
That's so funny. That's so sweet.
Exactly.
I will say though, every event I ever plan, like maybe 4 to 7 days before the event happens, I go through the whole, I'm never doing this again. I hate this.
Yeah.
This is gonna fail.
Yeah.
Every single time, and then I do another event. I don't know if you guys feel that.
Vision,
Oh, yeah.
and then you're like, this would be so cool if I did this.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even though you hate it, by the end, 'cause you're like, I'm stressed. Notice to me, this is so hard. You'll get another idea, and you're like, maybe this time will be different. Maybe this time will be a lot more fun. It usually isn't, but it's fun at the end.
I also can't enjoy my own events. I don't know if you guys feel that. Like, I can't really enjoy my events.
Yeah, I mean, I can only
Well,
relate
you're,
it to like
on the clock for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can only relate it to like art, I guess, or like just related to like short films and like stuff that I've worked on, in the sense that like it was something I struggled with for a long time, like never being happy with the product. You know, like you get all these people and their input in it, and like you have a clear vision, and then throughout the process of people working on it and having their own vision for the thing too, like inevitably like the end product isn't exactly the way you thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that way, it's like having to accept that it might never be that way, but it's still amazing.
Kidding.
It's still a beautiful project. But
Yeah. I hear that.
Well,
Yeah, that's me. That's my updates.
I love that you had a happy update.
I love it.
Thanks guys.
very proud.
I'm gonna try to get an internship this summer for
you are.
event coordinating.
Mhm.
See what happens.
I'm sending out all of my love and
Manifesting
energy
that.
for you.
Thank you.
That's dream job
Manifesting.
for
It's a new moon tonight, guys.
Oh, that'd be
in
so
Pisces.
fun.
Right?
That'd be so fun.
That's all I want in my life, guys.
My reset.
Okay, what about y'all though? What else is on the couch?
Do we want to go down the line?
I mean,
Or are you itching to tell us a story?
I
think she's
Are you
itching
ready?
to tell a
guys,
story.
this is the only story I have. And I just need to get it out because this is. I've never hated a situationship. I've never hated a man.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this man that I just got out of a situationship with. Like, genuinely hate him. Wish nothing but the worst for him. Like, I'm not a hateful person. I really am not. I actually hate this person.
Curse on him, curse on his bloodline,
curse on you, curse on
his
your cow.
families. Yeah.
No, on your cow. No, like, and I'll tell you why. So I feel like the last time I was on this podcast, I was like kind of getting into it a little bit of like, there was a bit of disappointment because there was a lack of communication.
Yeah. And
I wasn't going fully into detail as to like what was going on. So to give a recap to the audience, we'll call this man Roy G. Biv. Almost like, red, yellow, orange, the colors of the rainbow. Roy G. Biv is the name I'm going to give this man. And I deleted Hinge, guys. I deleted Hinge. I didn't want to get on it again after the previous guy, and I re-downloaded it for the games, for the app, for the swiping and the validation.
This is how it always starts.
This is how the horror movie begins.
Yeah.
And I meet up with this guy, and from the very, very start, this man is like pursuing me. So much so that it freaks me out because I'm like, I've never felt like this with a guy where like he's pursuing me this much. Usually I have to do majority of the chasing. I've never had a guy chase me the entire go of the relationship. So much so that like after every hangout, it was, I like you so much. I thought this man was going to say I love you after like one of the times we hung out. And I was like, I don't feel the same way. Like it was to the point like where I was getting asked like, how do you feel about this guy? Like I hadn't told anybody here, any of my girls here about this man because I was so unsure about this man. And there was one time where we hung out where he said, he was like, I just want to say, like, I feel like you're really, like, apprehensive about all of this. And I was like, well, like, when I get to this point in a situationship with guys, like, it ends not very well. So, like, I don't want to get my hopes up again. And I'd rather just keep it, like, chill and low-key so that, like, I'm not going to get hurt and I don't get attached. And he took his hands in my face and he goes, I'm never going to leave you, Bella. You can trust me on that. I won't leave you.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
I promise you, I won't leave you.
They always tell on them.
And this man took me out on dates. I never had a man like this, taking me out on dates, paying me for every dinner. We spent Valentine's Day together. We went to a hotel for Valentine's Day. And I will give Roy G. Biv. No, I'm not going to give him the better. Nope, I'm not going to even say that because he doesn't deserve it. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I will admit this, and this is on the record. I will admit this about our life and about like how we were sexually. I would close my eyes majority of the time and think about other people.
Whoa.
I think you should take that off record. I fear that one's not going on record.
Yeah.
As your friend,
I think all of this should stay in.
yeah. I'm vote for in, but like that's up to you.
I don't care. I hate this man. I hope he hears it.
Okay.
When we would have sex in the camera lens, when we would have sex, I would think about other people. Anyways.
Yo, that's my biggest fear.
See, I have done that.
Thought about other people?
Yeah. Only one other time but like, anyway.
It wasn't, and here's the thing. It wasn't all the time. It wasn't every single time. There were just a few times where I wasn't, and I needed something more.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's okay.
So anyways, so one night, he spends the night over at my apartment, and then the next morning, we're in each other's arms. We're like, like cuddling, kissing. He's like saying how much he like likes me and da-da-da-da-da. And then we have sex right before he goes to work. He texts me on his way to work. He's like, I miss you already. Like, we're texting the whole day. And then that night, I'm supposed to go out and that night was like 2 Wednesdays ago, okay? So after that Wednesday, that's when my life all went to shit. Like, and it was just like one thing after the other thing, after the other thing, after the other thing, after the other thing. But that Wednesday night, I was supposed to go to Barney's Beanery and go like get drinks with some friends from work. Right. We were having our podcast meeting.
Yeah.
Yes. So after I hung up the phone with you guys to commence because I was about to leave, I called him as I was like putting on all my shoes and stuff like that, like because I was just like about to go, and the people that I was supposed to go with were like, oh, like hold off like 15 minutes, like we're not ready yet, so like wait another 15 minutes. And I was like, okay. So I called G-Biv. I called Roy G-Biv. So we're gonna cut that out. I called Roy G-Biv is who I called, y'all.
Sorry.
Let me reset.
Take a moment.
Yeah. So I was like leaving to go to Barney's Beanery, and then because we had just had our meeting, and like I had to like obviously leave the meeting, but I called him, and so I call him, and he's like, oh, like let me get an outfit check, and I'm like, okay, like sure, like this is weird for me, but whatever. And he's like, oh, like you look really like sexy. Where are you going? And I'm like, oh,
really
side
good.
note, yeah, she looked really good.
Thanks, guys.
Bitty on the floor.
But he was like, where are you where are you going? And I told him, and then he was like, oh, okay. And I could sense like a glimpse of like insecurity, but I was like, I'm not gonna really like touch it, like whatever. And then I asked him to give me a room tour because he lives with his parents, which is, there's no shame in that whatsoever. And he like, I was like, give me a room tour, and he was like, oh, well, you're gonna see it eventually because like you're gonna come and see my place. And like I was like, oh, well, yeah, but like you're already here, so like let me see it. And then he shows me it, and he's like doing this weird like flexing thing in the mirror, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, nothing. And like, I'm not doing anything. And I was like, okay, like I wasn't. He's like, why are you shaking your head? I'm like, I'm not, like I don't know why. And he's like, you are. I'm like, okay.
He got self-conscious.
And then we start talking about his parents and how like he was like, eventually I want you to meet my parents. And I'm like, I'm really in no rush to meet your parents right now. Like truthfully, like we're just starting to get to know each other. Like I'm not really in a huge rush to meet your parents, but like, yeah, eventually, like of course. But like right now I'm like, we're just getting to know each other. Like we haven't even seen each other for a month. Like I'm not in a huge rush to meet your parents because I don't want there to be an expectation of like, I've met your parents, so now you want to meet mine, because they won't know about you personally. And so then things escalate out of nowhere, and all of a sudden this motherfucker on FaceTime goes, Bella, you're really starting to fucking piss me off. out of nowhere says that. And I'm like, hang up.
Period.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't, no. You don't get to talk to me that way.
Right.
I don't hear from him that night. I don't hear from him at all the rest of the next day on Thursday. Nothing. And this is the man who would text me every single morning. Good morning, beautiful. Hey, pretty girl. Like, da-da-da. Friday comes along. We have our previous podcast. And nothing. I hear nothing from this man. And I'm like, you know what? If this is the type of behavior, you're not going to text me. You're not going to follow up on me. I'm going to make it very clear that I'm done with your little games. So I grabbed the sweatshirt that he gave me of his, the t-shirt that he left of his for me to like wear, and the key card that we both kept from the hotel. I put it in a trash bag, drove my ass all the way to where he lives, which is like 45 minutes out of my way, especially from Santa Clarita, threw that shit on his lawn, and then drove all the way back here, did the podcast.
Hell yeah.
Which is why I was in that state. Still nothing the rest of Friday. Didn't hear from him. Then, pulling out the receipts, on Saturday, because I still hadn't heard anything from him, and I was like, okay, I'm getting a little pissed off that he's not addressing this at all, so if I have to address it, I'm going to address it. So I text him on Saturday at 2:01, and and that's very important that I put that timestamp on there.
AM, PM.
This was PM, so it was the afternoon, 2:01 p.m. And I say, I'm not even sure how we got here, but all I can say is I'm deeply hurt and I'm sorry if I hurt you in return. 4 hours later to the minute, 6:01, this man goes, hey Bella, I'm not upset or hurt anymore, and I need to apologize for being rude over the phone. I shouldn't have said that, and I'm sorry for hurting your feelings. Look, I've had a lot of time to think since we've stopped talking, and I want you to know I really appreciate all the fun we had, and thank you for your hospitality and kindness.
Hospitality?
Hospitality.
So
That's
mad.
crazy.
To the B&B.
I
That is your apartment.
that was my apartment.
Yeah.
He said thanks for the room.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me smash you at your place because we couldn't do it at mine.
Yeah.
Because I live with my mom.
Because I live with my mom and she would have walked in on us having wild ass sex. Kinky ass sex. Kinky ass, wild ass sex.
The losers always have great sex.
Yeah. What's that about?
Just putting that out there.
And so he
they're
continues
fighting for
on
their
and
lives.
goes, I think you're a great person. And I had a lot of fun getting to know you, but ultimately, I don't think this will work for me. And I'm going to take a step back from dating and focus on my family and work. I seriously wish you nothing but success for your future. And again, I'm really sorry. So I go, would you be open to talking more? Not to change your mind or anything. I don't want to end this over text. And I call him. No answer. This is where I start to crash out. And I go, I appreciate your apology. I just don't understand where this is coming from, considering literally days before you were calling me baby, your girl, saying how much you miss me, sending me music that made you think of me, or that made
Yeah. No, you said that.
yeah. Holding me in your arms, planning our future dates. Like, was this all some sick, fuck, twisted thing for you? Was I some major rebound? Because I would have liked to know. I'm sorry I never fully opened up to you, but I'm sorry. This is exactly why. I stated from the very beginning I didn't want to let my walls down and let myself feel for someone again, for ultimately for them to just hit it, quit it, and leave. He then goes, I can't call you because I'm out to dinner with my family. This wasn't some sick and twisted shit like that. Everything between us really happened, and it happened really, really fast. And I've come to the realization that I'm not ready for all of this, and I apologize for my part in this. My feelings have changed, and I personally don't think our goals aligned for long term. I don't want to have developed this any further or hurt you even more than I have. Again, you're a great person, and I appreciate the time we shared together, and I'm sorry. Reading that last chunk of my feelings have changed and our goals don't align, I wanted to flip every table, and the whole part of like it's all happening really, really fast. That was all you.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That was all you. That was all you. Mm-hmm. And you, like, and that's why I emphasized the very beginning, like him holding his, like saying, I'll never leave you, what are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? And I wanted to crash out again. I wanted to just let it loose and be like, fuck you, da-da-da-da. But instead, I collected myself. And I said, I understand. And I hope you find what you're looking for. But please do not ever talk to me again. And that was where it ended. And honestly, I've never hated someone so much in my fucking life, because I went into this being like, I'm not sure. I actually went back onto Hinge because I was just looking for validation. I didn't even want to go on a date with anybody, but I gave you, and I let him know from the beginning, all of the things, all of this from the get-go, from our first dates. And he was like, well, I'm a relationship type of guy, so you don't have to worry about it. So all that being said, Hinge is deleted once again, and Bella is off the market, and probably won't be back on the market for a very, 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 very long time, because after that all happened on Saturday of last week. I feel like my heart went from like confused and like full of like, this is like fun and new and sex and fun and da 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 da, to like confused and hurt and like sad, and just in the sense of like what's going on, to like rock hard charcoal, like stone cold. Like I want nothing to do with any man ever again, like truly. Or maybe I need to dive into like women again and like see that aspect of my life. But like seriously, like to be pursued by somebody as much as I was by him, and to have him say the shit that he said to me, ultimately for him to do that, I'm like, you're evil. And the sick thing is that I know he's gonna come back.
Oh, they always do.
I know that he is going to come back. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it. Da 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 da.
I mean, you should just block him.
I already did.
Okay, good.
But that doesn't mean that they can't reach out, email, another phone number, da da da.
Right.
But my thing is I'm going to be like, can you not read? Do we need to go back to school? I told you I'm not talking to you again. And I've had my situationships with other guys where I'm like, I'm never talking to you again. And then like 6 months down the line, I'm like, hey, hey, can we hook up?
Right.
I need dick.
Been
Like,
there.
I'm crying.
I'm hungry and horny. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
that's
The whispering.
like that happens, you know, like, and I will admit to that, where like I get really hurt by a guy, and like
The door is open. Like the door is closed, but you're there. It's like unlocked. Like you can like peek in there.
Or
you
it's
know,
like a
it's
tiny
yeah,
bit ajar.
yeah.
Or a window's open.
Yeah.
Right, or it's a screen door where they can look in and knock and be
Yeah.
like, are you
You can
still
hear
there?
it.
They could break the glass. This is like bolted shut
brick wall.
brick wall, like
Wood
Yeah.
over.
like there's
window.
no
Plastered over.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you got love bombed.
Yeah.
And
Like-
and I think everyone in this room and everyone out there
Watching.
can relate to that.
Yeah.
And it's a bitch.
I got
It is
love
such a
tsunami'd.
lot.
I got love
Yeah.
tsunami'd.
I think like it might be helpful to like go back and look at like his first text messages, because sometimes you can tell in the first messages if someone is a love bomber or not. You know.
Because I completely agree, because it's hard to separate, like, well, this person sees how amazing and wonderful and sexy I am, you know, but
Because you are all those things.
because you are.
And that's the thing. I know that. And that's what kind of separates between like this and the other situationships, is that I didn't leave this situationship being like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what happened with my last situationship, is I was like, there must be something wrong with me. And
No,
so,
this guy was like clearly a weirdo freak.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like this, but like, it's a weird thing where it's like, I feel this sense of growth where like,
Yeah.
even though like this thing was awful and it sucked, and it like, honestly, waste of my time. Great sex, but like waste of my time.
Yeah.
Because emotionally, what did this do for me?
Well, I think like, and it's horrible to hear this right now, and like no, and I, you know, will and has benefited you.
And
Nothing
yeah.
ever has happened, and I know you know this. Nothing is ever happening that isn't for your benefit,
Right.
and
Or to learn or grow for.
yes,
Right.
exactly,
Don't I know it?
exactly. And I think this is just the hard part with love and relationships is like we only learn by fire.
Mm-hmm.
We only learn.
We
through
only
fire.
learn by going through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now, well, as you're mourning and like grieving and processing that relationship, now you can, when you're ready, you can look back on and look at like the signs that, because they always like, and it's something we have to learn. Like none of us know the signs. We literally have to learn and figure this out. There's also like nobody really teaching us this
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like my body and my nervous system and like my gut was telling me before I even really knew. Because whenever people were like, how do you feel about him? I was like, I don't know.
Right.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Which is like weird because it's like,
I understand that.
Yeah.
I can recall the the terrorist, the first time I met like the terrorist of my young 20s. I remember
I was like, who? Where is this going?
Sorry.
genuinely, I remember the first time we met up, also off of a dating app. My mind was like,
Hated dating.
nope. Like my body like we hadn't even said hello yet, but it was like my body like tensed. And it was like I'm in a bad situation in my brain. Immediately I was like no. But I was young and just like I wanted to see it through, you know, and I like kind of like went against my better judgment. And I think that is like the biggest lesson here is like you do have to really pay attention to the signals your body are giving you.
That's so real.
Yeah. And that's, yeah.
No,
No, you had a thought.
no, I was just gonna talk about myself.
No,
Say it.
do it.
I kind of am feeling this way about like the one meet cute I talked about.
Aw.
Yeah. But I can't tell if it's my avoidance or if it's, you know,
That's how they get you.
right?
Because then you don't know if it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
You don't know if it's yourself, like self-sabotaging or if it's
Yes.
Let's,
And
let's
that's-
analyze it.
That's
shall we?
that's how I was thinking about this whole situation. To like
We can analyze.
to tie the bow on this uncolorful, colorful, also really disgusting
Colorful.
ick that I was thinking about from the last podcast because we were talking about icks.
Yeah.
I cannot stand a man who has tattoos that are colored in.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
You're a
yeah.
monochromatic line work kind of girl.
Like
What kind? Are we talking like pastel colors? Because I can do it like American traditional coloring. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm saying
Depends
like
on the tattoo. for
I
it to
like
be
my
colored.
I like the tattoos to be like just the black and white, like how it just like because I feel like when it's just like black and white, it kind of like complements your
Wait,
skin tone.
What was the tattoo?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, he had so many.
Give us like
But
the worst.
they were all the worst one. He had a lot of really weird coloring like tattoos like on his legs because all of his tattoos were on his legs, and
weird spot.
like he had none on his arms yet. It was just all on his legs.
Weird spot.
And but the one that really like for me, which makes me giggle because we found out we had a lot of weird like synchronicities and a lot of weird like, coincidences, but he also had a hummingbird tattoo. But his was a giant ass hummingbird tattoo right fucking here.
Ooh, was it colored?
Yep.
Ooh.
Okay, I feel
And
like
it wasn't even a
tattoos were
cute
probably just
design.
bad.
Ladies
Yeah.
in Los
Yeah.
Angeles, look out for this man. He's got a hummingbird tattoo on his chest.
right here. If you meet a Caucasian man with a tattoo here,
If you meet
here
a
and
fake
nowhere else,
cowboy
you know who it is.
surfer ass with a hummingbird tattoo right here, run.
Run.
Run, run, run. He does not want a relationship with you. Run. He's toxic. Run. He's a love bomber, tsunamier.
girl, a chest tattoo is really like my worst nightmare. I fear.
Here's my thing.
Right?
They chest tattoos can be sexy.
No, yeah.
My husband, not my actual husband, but like y'all know my husband.
Wait, no.
My-
Off the record.
Oh, okay.
Like Vincent Cole
I like how you don't want to put that on the record.
That's the one that's not.
No, I can't put that on the record.
She said for when we get married.
Right.
No,
You
because
can't know that you knew about him.
I'll
Okay,
keep it
no,
though.
fair.
I'll keep
Right.
it in the archive, and we can play it at your wedding.
I think
Yeah.
we just bleep it. Can we just bleep
Yeah,
it?
can we bleep that one?
my husband.
Yeah.
No, because like his tattoos, holy shit. He is an artist. He is an artist with his own body, and that's how you have to be with tattoos. You have to be an artist with your own body and know where to place the tattoos and know whether or not, if you're gonna put colorful tattoos on your body, what colors, what like how it looks, like in terms of like the color, like if you're gonna use like just the traditional like Roy G. Biv colors, you know, like, and not like a pastel or like a darker like tone color, like
So he has no taste.
Yeah,
it's just like taste.
I just feel like he doesn't have tasteful tattoos because
Yeah.
like what I meant by chest tattoo is how she described it, which is like one singular piece randomly like that. But like there's this one girl, I lied, she doesn't have a chest tattoo. There's a show on Netflix called Singles Inferno, and it's a Korean dating show. It's so good, by the way. But one of the guys on there had this chest tattoo that went into a full sleeve. That was hot.
also
That
a
was
back tattoo.
One time I hooked up with a guy who in Utah.
Okay.
He's from Utah, and he had the I can't say it. He had the outline of Idaho on his chest, and in it said Idaho boys. No. And he's not from Idaho. That's his one tattoo, because he also like grew up Mormon. It's an outline of the state of Idaho.
Sick.
He says Idaho
like
boys,
that.
and he's not even from. He's been to Idaho once at the time.
No.
And that was when he got that tattoo, because he was drunk out of his mind. And I was like, oh, you're a funny person.
Oh.
You're a funny person.
Like,
Off record, was he white?
The one white man.
Damn it.
That's the one. That was the
like-
one.
What turned you off?
No, actually, like, he was so sweetie. Like, in another world, I married that man. Like, in the world in which no, that's a damn lie. But, like, I would have had a great life with him.
Okay.
We would have been on the boat every Sunday.
Yeah.
can I just show the like that?
Yeah. No,
The placement. He knew where to. Also, the back tattoos. Let me show the back tattoos.
I want to hear more about.
But anyways, tying the bow. Goodbye. Your story.
Meow. Is that
Yes.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
hear more about.
one?
Cute.
Sorry, Bella.
No, do not
About
apologize.
all of that going down. And two, like, you're so right about like listening to your body, because my thing is, I was just texting meet cute for like a week, and like no moves were made. He invited me to his party, which is tomorrow. I'm gonna go to.
Oh shit.
I'm like, yeah, but I kind of also crashed out a little bit.
Fair. That's fair.
Because I had been like, I was out and about one night, and then like we were texting, and I got in my car, and I was like, do you want to call me? And one, I hate initiating the call. I never do that, and I did. He called me, and then he said something about like going to this museum, and I was like, oh yeah, like I've been wondering when you were gonna ask me out on a date. And he was like, oh, date? We're using such big words already.
Big words.
Right, guys, right.
God damn
So
it.
I'm
I'm
like
like-
so much respect.
I'm like, okay, mind you, his
No,
name
for
starts with a
him.
J,
Yeah.
and he's a Leo man.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
exactly.
we've been down this road
he
before.
wants to be pursued.
I think
Like,
we've
so-
seen this film.
He was like, no, I was like, that's a big word for you, buddy. That's a big word for you. And he was like, no, I just wanted to like take things slow, and like I didn't like want to rush anything, and I was totally gonna ask you on a date. I just wanted to take things slow. I don't
Sounds
know.
like a bunch of excuses.
Girl,
I don't know.
It sounded
Well-
like you caught him, and he went. Because he knew he was about to
Exactly.
lose bad bitch.
Right?
So he was like, I
Exactly.
can't.
Don't run.
I would just start treating him like bestie.
Yeah.
That's literally what it's been.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what it's been. We were supposed to go on a date on Wednesday, but
Uh-huh.
then I couldn't. Like, both of us kind of just ran out of time. He was like, after we had the phone call, he was like, after we had the phone call, he asked the next day, he texted me and was like, are you free sometime for a date this week? And I was like, okay, yes, this is when I'm free. And then he's like, he said, I appreciate you for telling me that yesterday. I appreciate the straightforwardness. So I don't know if that means anything too in his favor or not. But then the date didn't even happen, but it was because we were both like, our schedules didn't align when we were gonna get lunch and stuff. But
I don't know.
I don't know
middle of the
either.
road too, because I feel like right now I'm also in this place of like, I do kind of prefer slower builds, you know, but it's all dependent on like what you want and what you're looking for. And like I want to see you like excited, you know, and like just like
I feel
giggling
like
and kicking your feet in the air.
I'm just like I don't need a man.
I just feel like you don't have a lot of time already.
You don't have a lot of time, and you also have so many friends.
Yeah,
I have so many friends.
You don't have a lot of time, so I feel like it's like, at least for me personally, like as your friend, I'm like, if he isn't gonna be proactive about like he doesn't have to ask you to be his girlfriend, like, but he can be like, we're like a little something more, like he can show initiative and how he feels, because right now he kind of just feels like he's like, oh, you're cool, I think you're pretty, so I want you around. But like that's like a waste of your time, because like what are you
that's
getting
what
from
I'm
that?
saying, like I don't he like we were texting for way too long for, I mean, I don't know, this is the thing also, I don't want to fall into the trap of mind reading. I don't want to fall into the trap of like of which like literally we're doing right now, and I'm doing, and I do it every day, but I also do want to not try to read his mind and read the future. I want to just be present and focus on what do I like and what do I not like. I don't like texting somebody with no purpose.
Right.
That's the thing, like, the I don't like.
Yes. Period. Yeah. That's the word.
Yes.
There's no intentionality behind it.
Yes. And he invited me to his party, which is tomorrow, which happened like before we had the phone call. So I don't know if that was him trying to move slow. But then also, I'm doing the thing. But I'm doing it. I'm mind reading.
Oh, here, I'll do it for you. My thing with that, though, is like...
I'm yelling. She said, I'll do it for you.
My thing with that, though, is like, the party in itself is like a professional thing, is it not? And you guys are in the same industry. So at least for me, I'd be like, that doesn't even feel like a personalized invite. It just kind of sounds like he wants people to be at his function.
Right?
Yeah.
My other thing with that, too, is I'm like, okay, so you want people at your party?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You want a pretty girl at your party,
exactly,
right? You want an accessory. You want as a motherfucking Leo man.
Yeah, he wants somebody that he can tell his friends. Yeah, you know, I'm talking to her.
Yeah,
bitch, we ain't talking.
Even though there's no intentionality, date's a big word. Sorry, I'm
See,
mad for
and
you,
that's where you use his words against him. That if you were to be like, oh, this girl I'm talking to, and you'd be like, talking's a big word.
And then you flirt with his homie.
Yeah.
See, that's why I'm like, maybe I should go to this party to have some fun.
I feel like
I say you use his own medicine against him.
Yeah.
And he's short, so whatever comes his way, it's his fault. Like, he deserved it.
Actually.
Like,
because that's really bold.
He deserves his shortcomings.
Yeah, that's just really bold.
Guys, put me on a stage.
It is so bold.
Yeah.
To invite me to his party with all his friends, right?
Without saying, having like, a one-on-one first. You should steal something from that party. Inviting strangers to your function.
You are my kind of girl. You are my kind of girl. I love a smart woman.
Teach him a lesson not to invite strangers, you know?
No, period.
Steal something.
Actually, you should steal. Yeah. Actually,
do you remember?
Arson? No, too soon?
Do you remember when we had that party at our house, Cammy, and I was so fucking freaked that people were gonna steal, and I put Post-it notes on the bottom of all of our stuff being like, Buddy, you stole this shit. We know you stole it. Give it back. Put it back down.
That's
kind of smart, though.
I think, truthfully, we've never really had people steal from our apartment. I don't, as long that we know of. Shit.
No. I mean, they haven't. I was freaked because
that was hilarious.
Our apartment, I used to live with Cammy at her current, residence, and so at our old apartment when we had our first big party, I was really nervous because of its track history in Cal Arts of like having big parties that people were gonna like steal. And so I wrote on like all of our little like knickknacks and whatnot, like little post-it notes being like, yep, we know that you're taking this, put it back down, bitch.
Put it back down. No, that was hilarious.
I've only ever stolen alcohol from a party. Never.
Yeah.
Which
Alcohol
like,
and weed.
yeah.
Maybe we should cut that.
I was screaming.
Well, my thing is like white frat boys deserve it. You know what I mean? Anyways, you want to get into the topic?
Wait, can you two update us?
Oh.
Because me and
Oh,
Bella updated.
Yes.
I want to hear your guys' lives really quick.
My life has been so busy, and it's all my fault. Like these are all things that I agreed to do. I do this thing where like if I have too much free time, then I like actively search out new things that I can be like responsible for. And then now it's all of those things are like ramping up, and so it's busy, but I enjoy it too. It's like I'm seeing this as a lesson to like learn how to manage my time the best, you know, like I need to have like a little app to like schedule all the things. But yeah, it's just been I've just been tired and like just getting through too, so there's that. But it's all exciting stuff that I want to do, like, you know, this podcast, and a career program for digital marketing that Sierra put me on to.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's been really beneficial so far.
I have not asked you about that at all. How
I
have
know,
you
I
liked
haven't
it?
either. I need it.
I'm still getting into the like swing of it. I'm gonna admit, like, fully just on Monday I forgot that it was a thing, so I like missed a class.
Girl, you
So
only
real.
got 6 of those.
I know.
You better
I
actually
know.
keep track though, because they won't tell you.
Yeah.
And I mean, like at the end,
Yeah.
they were like, somebody was like, "Oh, are we all good on absences?" Because they didn't say anything, and they said, "Oh, you should actually ask about that." So keep
Yeah.
track of that.
Okay, I
Because they
will.
will not tell you if
Okay.
you're over.
But yeah, it's like a very regimented program, but like I am learning a lot already, especially about like presenting yourself and like interview skills and networking skills and things, which is like something that I didn't get in school. And it was kind of like a source of anxiety for me, but I feel like this is going to really help me kind of reach that next step in my career.
Awesome.
And yeah, just I have like photo sessions coming up with like families and things. Yeah, so I'm just locked in like career wise. And
Good
yeah.
job.
Good.
On her
shit,
career
friend.
grind.
Exactly.
Something that I really love and respect about you is your desire to always be learning. You are
Thank you.
truly a student, and that it will serve you in so many aspects of your life.
I agree.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I very much agree with that statement.
Me,
Yes, yes, girl.
not much has really been happening in my life, honestly. Let me think. Work. I don't really work, not liking my work, same as always. It's oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It's just been a lot of I guess just trying to still find my path and my way in certain things, talking to a lot of different people. I've been debating, well, I can't do it. I could maybe do it, but I've been debating pursuing a master's because I miss being in school. And I feel like it would help with some of the things that I want to do. I don't know. I started a workout class, did that last week. That's kind of been the only new thing in my life, which has been fun. I've just been up. I'm up at 5 a.m. every day. So like,
Dang.
Miss Girl is tired,
What
but
time are you going to sleep?
I'm usually asleep by like 10.
Good job.
You're
Well,
better than me.
in college, I would stay up until like 1 or 2 and then wake up at 7 to go to the gym. But I have been like conditioned to be able to run off of like 6 hours of sleep since my sophomore year of high school. So like, I'm fine. I'm just up early a lot. But yeah, no, it's just been like trying to figure out life, I guess. As it always is. I just feel like I'm in like a transition. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like there comes a time in every 20-something's life where they contemplate getting their master's degree.
Well,
Right.
yeah. I've just been like, I don't want to go back into debt, but I really enjoy school. Like that, like that was one of my crises when I was 15, and I was conditioned to go to college since I was like 8. Like that was like my one goal in life since I was like in elementary school. So when I graduated, it was the whole thing. But when I was like 15, my brother's and sister's dad was like, you need to choose what you want your major to be right now. And I was like, I don't know what I want to do because all I do is go to school because I like to go to school. That's like my thing. So I kind of miss it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to like learn more about like communications and arts and stuff, and like might as well get a master's in it. I don't want to get my master's in marketing, but I will if a company will sponsor me to do it. And that's always been my take on that. If you sponsor me to do it, I'll go get my master's in marketing.
Right.
Exactly.
I could see a master's for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also just want 2 degrees. I just want to say I have 2
I
degrees.
understand that.
Yeah.
Like the mic drop that is degrees is so lovely.
Yeah, like I would get a PhD, but I don't want to do anything that requires me to get a PhD. Nor do I want to.
You need to do one of those PhD or master's programs that are like combined.
Oh, I can do if I would get a PhD, I would do something in like I would make up my own thing. Like I would make it the super niche subject that only I have research in. Anyways, yeah, that's my life. Very that's boring so cool. Compared to everybody else. But I'm just living. I can't talk to men. I re-downloaded the apps. I still have them on my phone. I literally was on them for like a week, and then I got busy, and then I stopped answering people. And now every time I have messages I haven't answered for like 2 weeks. At this point, you can't answer them. You know. Yeah.
I think dating apps are from hell.
I agreed.
That's good. Don't answer those hoes.
It's just not real to me. It's just not real life. Like
it's not.
It's not. You have more self-respect for yourself than myself.
No, I wouldn't say that. Okay, because I still have the apps. I literally deleted my profiles and made new ones because I like.
And I did that too.
And honestly, I feel like my approach to that is like just keep fucking doing it until you get it out of your system. Just keep doing it and. It it's
out of my system.
Yeah, exactly. Like at some point I just got to this place where I was like, this doesn't serve me in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
And I haven't even had the desire in a really long time.
No. But you know what's sick and twisted is the minute that you shut yourself off from like the universe I don't know why, but it's like the minute you shut yourself off from like I'm not doing men, I'm not doing it, the apps, da-da-da-da-da. They always love to come into your life and be like, hey.
It's a test.
Because
it is a test.
This fucking man from the gym who I thought is so fucking cute asked for my fucking Instagram when I was at the front desk. The day after, well, not the day after all of this fuck shit went down. And I was looking at him and I was like, yeah, sure.
See, but that's growth. That's where you were like, this is just a new follower. That's how I'm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, can I do you say something that's just like, I just think it's funny. There's one guy from Bumble that made it onto Instagram just because he asked for Instagram. And that's my thing is like, the messaging part of those apps to me is not real. Like I know people legitimately use that to have conversations. And I'm like, oh, I have a message, I should answer it. I'm like, oh. Like I just don't.
Oh,
it doesn't register.
Crazy.
It doesn't register in my head as something I need to answer, which is bad on my end. One guy asked for Instagram. Went to Instagram. He's pretty cute. Whatever. I'm private. You got a request to follow me, so I already know like there's effort to be put in, and maybe this is me being a little like, I don't know, but like. I'm not gonna message you first, like unless I'm like really into it, or we were having a good conversation
after the hinge and onto Instagram.
Yeah,
no, of course you don't message him first.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna message you first unless like if we were having like a really good conversation, but me and him hadn't like conversed that much.
And he was waiting for you to text him.
Girl, he likes my stories, and I'm on his close friends. And at one time on his close friends, he literally like spammed a whole bunch of pictures of him in the gym, and I was just like.
Dude,
I hate when I'm on a man's close friends.
Like, that's so
Swirly. Like what?
I think that's what this podcast name, like the title of this podcast name should be. Roy G. Biv and Girly Swirly.
Like, no, it was just funny to me. I was just like, this is what, because he was like liking my Instagram stories, and I was like, really? Mm-hmm. And then the close friends thing happened. I went. Men used to, what did you say? Men used to
yearn.
No, she was like, men used to write letters and send them over the sea.
Yeah,
like,
no, genuinely.
No, actually.
Fucking the letters
kill other men with a pocket with you in their pocket.
Yeah.
You in their
no, not even just a full picture, just like a really hyper realistic picture of your eye.
Yeah.
Like that was it.
Or they would have your handkerchief with your perfume and go, I can still smell her.
Or
let me run into war.
Napoleon.
And now you have these bitches going, it's just, I'm too nervous to talk to girls. Grow up.
Dude, Napoleon and his freaky ass letters to his lover. Are we aware of this? What?
Can that be a topic?
He was like in one of the letters, I'm like paraphrasing, but he was like, "We'll be home in a fortnight. Don't wash."
Don't wash.
He said, "I want
He
your
said, "I want
sense."
stank. I want cheese."
Yeah.
Jeez!
Like, guys, what?
He said, I feel you near in the sea.
Yo, and everybody knows what I'm talking about. I can't believe this is what got y'all. The cheese?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Cheese is wild. Sorry.
No, because it is. And now I'm just getting that scent in my... Oh.
It's just like...
Oh.
I think it's because back then they were already stinky to begin with. And so it's like... It's not even like cheese how we're thinking. Like, it's like...
Cheese! Like chunks!
Yeah, that's just like tangible.
Blue.
Oh my
Guys,
god.
Blue
okay, we gotta
cheese.
go on. This shit is nasty. Blue
Sorry.
aged.
Blue
Sorry.
aged cheese.
We kept going and I was like, oh wait, actually I think I'm losing.
No.
I think I've been lost actually.
I'm sharing with the class the guy from my gym.
Oh, yeah, he's cute. I'm just seeing this profile. Anyways,
Show and tell.
yeah, show and tell could be the name of the podcast segment.
I mean,
You're so funny.
But what does anyone feel particularly inspired to share? I know
topics you two need to share.
Yes. Would you like to go first, or shall I?
You can go first. My topic is
Okay.
kind of...
It's cutie.
Well, I brought.
I think he's probably
I
a
think
little
your
crazy.
topic actually fits more into what we've been
Like,
talking about this whole
I wouldn't-
podcast than mine does.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
So-
but I think he's cute.
Please start. Sorry.
Okay. I actually brought it physically with me. It's
Oh, hell
called
yeah.
The Great Cosmic Mother.
Oh.
Just a reminder for the folks at home, this is this part of the segment where we discuss things that have inspired us, either like throughout the week or the month, or just like as a whole, like just things that are like foundational to like things that have shaped us and like who we are, and hopefully that inspires some conversation with the rest of the group. So this was mine from last week, and it's called The Great Cosmic Mother.
Someone wrote a book about you?
No, actually,
Thank you. I would love to be her.
queen.
But I'm only like a couple chapters in, but this is so dense with information that I just have to sit with it. But basically it spans the beginning of human history and development, but from a woman's lens. So I think a lot of times in academia we go from this like very male dominated and patriarchy kind of centric viewpoint on human history, but this is changing that, and it's really refreshing just to read more about our the female influence on humanity, as like broad as that is, like, and she really jumps around quite a bit. I'm only less than a quarter in, and I'm like, whoa.
That was
What
gorgeous.
brought this book into your life?
TikTok.
So
This-
real.
Yeah, like one of those like book talk kind of things.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you guys, but it's made me aware of this feeling that I've always had around being like a woman, of being like, I'm just so disconnected from this feeling of like power and just kind of like influence. Like I feel like we're conditioned to think that we're secondary and that we're the other in a lot of ways. And then not to mention race politics getting thrown in there as well. And I feel like it's something that we all just subconsciously carry, as much as you like, obviously you're like, I am a person with value, but there's all this like pre-programmed things from our patriarchy that tell us otherwise. So this book is just really refreshing to recognize like your ancestors, cultures before you lived under like a matriarchy that was successful and vibrant, and yeah, it's helping me connect with that part of myself.
I love that.
I think it's always good to consume art that like reminds you of that, because like I don't know, I feel like I I feel like I latched onto that type of feeling in my anthropology class that I took my freshman year. Guys, I really liked college. Sorry, sometimes I think about it, I'm like, damn, I actually like college. Anyways, but my anthro class was, my professor was this great lady from Sri Lanka. She literally like was a refugee from Sri Lanka from like the war and stuff like that. But like her takes on anthropology, which is literally just like studying humans and like the human race throughout history. It just like it really just like put me in this mindset of like we're so disconnected from like everything and everybody. And then a lot of the classes I've taken throughout college, or like a lot of the conversations I've had about college, were particularly about patriarchy and how like patriarchy and white supremacy, if we're gonna also add race politics into it, their entire foundation was about disconnecting humans from the earth. And if we're talking about patriarchy, then you realize that they did that because they see it as an inherently like womanly trait. So I feel like I've always like I'm at this point in my life where I'm like, I feel connected to that, and I'm just like, in my head I'm just like, men don't even exist on like my version of earth unless they're like chill and cool.
Unless you're a chiller, unless you're a chill guy.
Unless you're a chill guy.
But I love that you brought it up, the idea that patriarchy and colonialism, like one of their biggest accomplishments was separating our idea of God from the earth. It's separating us from nature. And because like you were saying, that most people connect that with like femininity, like Mother Earth, those sorts of things. And when we attribute our higher power to literally something above us that's all-knowing but isn't connected to us whatsoever, we feel so much better destroying the land. We feel so much
you feel better being individual. You feel better focusing on yourself because you're not connected. Like the thing that we're on is not a part of us. We're a part of something greater than this, therefore this doesn't matter. And so like very much like
it's just dawning on me, like thinking of like how like everyone loves to say like, oh, like, you know, with God, and not everyone, but like I'm being generalized, or I'm being like I'm generalizing it, but like I'm like most people will be like, when they say God, they'll be like he. And it's like to think about how there's a higher power and to make that a person of a male position, whereas beforehand, and the religions beforehand, like I'm more so thinking specifically like Native American culture, and how like all of their religious background stems from Mother Earth, and how that's a grounded, like here, present, like that's
literally
insane.
No, literally, it was like when I learned that was like one of the main tenets of like colonialism, of like the colonizers that came to America to like convert people to Christianity, was like separating natives from their land, because then it's like you're more susceptible to doing that, and then you're more susceptible to learning like, well, God wants me to stand in these fields and sow this plant because this person is above me in the church, therefore they're telling me what God wants, or I have to do it, blah blah blah. Which is it's
like
crazy.
A brainwashing.
It's crazy, but it's very much like the second I learned that, and like wanting to separate myself from those types of institutions, I feel like I feel more in tune with like things that she's talking about in that book.
That's wild.
I relate to the part about like the healer and things like that's something that I
Cammy, you are a healer. I feel like you cosmically are like healing, you know?
Thank you. Thanks for saying that. I feel like that's something I want to learn about, and like that's a skill I want to develop, and I want to feel that when you say that. I don't know if I'm explaining that well.
No, you are. You are.
Yeah, but it just is so frustrating to me how much is lost for us in this current time period that we're in. Like, I wonder who we would all be if we were not operating under capitalism and colonialism, and what other lives we would have lived.
You know, for real. I think about that all the time.
Right?
I always think about like what would have happened if like like the richest empires that were like in Africa and like the Middle East, like when that was it, like if they hadn't been, if the English and Europeans hadn't come over and done all they did, like what would the world look like? with all that technology, all that, like literally the Library of Alexandria. You don't literally, it keeps me up at night. There is knowledge that people had back in, like, way back in ancient times, that probably they could have figured out things that we know today.
Yeah.
And like we wouldn't know because all of their villages got destroyed, their libraries got burned, they got pillaged, and it was back to square one. Like, that's crazy to me.
It's also crazy to me that they could be so high and then also be destroyed.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's cyclical. Like, human civilization is cyclical. There are times in human history that the rise and then the fall into dark times and then the rise up again and down, and in that process you lose so much information in history and culture, just to start over at square one again. And I think that in that vein, like, it connects us further to that we are part of this, like, bigger organic ecosystem. We have a life cycle as a unit, as humanity, that I think, because we get so caught up in our daily lives, that it's like ego too, to not admit, like, hey, like, this bigger thing does come to an end, and we're just unwilling to, like, accept that. And so, and time again, it happens.
I laughed when you said that, because I was thinking like we're a part of this big organic ecosystem, and like a part of that for us is podcasting. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, that made me laugh. I'm taking this one class called Race Erasure and Inequality, and in the class we were just dissecting how America has been able to maintain colonialism and patriarchy for so long, and how they were able to maintain the slave trade and all these things for so long. And all that to be said, it's just crazy to me how much of our viewpoint is shaped, how much we see, how the way in which we see the world is shaped from this country.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know,
makes me nervous
really
for, like, when you were saying, like, even just like saying, which, like, I think it would need to happen, but not necessarily for our sakes, but for, like, the higher power who are in charge sakes. But, like, it makes me nervous for, like, what is going to be our downfall, because we are on the brink of a downfall as a nation.
I personally feel we're already there.
Well, I think we're, like, it's like we've already hit our like the peak, and now it's just like a slow trickle down.
I always think
I'm
about
getting my
like,
gun license this summer.
Oh, that's smart. Wait, the girls take the gun license?
Yo, so down. When
Yeah.
I have a job and stable income,
I want a pink gun.
real and true.
Get off my property.
Get off my dude.
get off my property. Insert pink little handgun. Oh, my shit's gonna be so slay.
Dude, I literally saw there's this house right next to the gym I go to now, and in the window they have this sign that's like, it takes like 5 minutes for the police to come, or like the ambulance to come. It takes a .32 millimeter gun, 2.5 seconds to shoot you. He said, "Don't come into my house." I was like, "Oh."
Said, "Fuck around and find out."
Bella, what does your gun sound like?
On what?
Just like, what does your gun sound like?
Wait, Sierra, what does your gun sound like?
Are we doing like?
Oh my god,
guys! Everyone disappointed. Sterling, what is your?
Well, I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, Bella, what does your gun sound like?
I feel like whenever my mind's like.
You have the same gun.
What's your gun?
Scott is crazy.
I like how yours.
That's mine. Yeah.
I like how she's a little.
Or mine would be like, I will always love when rappers was like, "Boom, boom, boom."
Wait, so do you guys know the meme that's like, what does your gun sound like?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. But mine is like,
when you said it at first, I was like, what? Like,
well,
it just like didn't
I asked
process.
because that meme is like not particularly just gun sounds. Like, I've seen.
Yeah, no, literally.
That's a good one.
Some of them
I like that one. Right. Bow, bow.
Some of them are like,
bow.
I saw someone that did the theme song to La La Land, and I was like, that's just real because that movie makes me violent.
Can you sing the theme song? I need to hear it because I was thinking about this the other day. How does it go? Okay, I'm locked in. It was like an itch in my brain that has been needing to be scratched for like a week now.
I still haven't seen the movie.
I could have Googled it, but
No.
Never seen it.
No, and I stand on that decision.
I actually, can I please make you watch it? Can I force
The quiver
Can I
in
tape
your
your eyelids
face
open and make you watch it?
Crazy.
Why
I'm
don't we all
officially
get
dead.
together and watch Moonlight?
Moonlight was good.
Bow,
Moonlight was,
bow.
but
The
Moonlight
one that won over La La Land.
yeah.
Yeah.
Moonlight
deservedly so.
deserved
Careful,
that.
Bella. Careful, Bella.
Bella,
You
unfortunately,
don't want to be on the run.
unfortunately, I'm gonna let you know right now, Moonlight did deserve that best
Yeah.
win.
I
That
actually,
Best Picture.
to be fair, I have never seen Moonlight.
It is
Okay.
one of the. It is such a gorgeous and also heart wrenching movie. That's why I don't want to watch it again, because I watched it on a flight and that was the only thing that was stopping me from like crying. You know,
You watched it on a flight.
Yeah, because I like don't like watching things that make me super sad, and I knew that this movie was gonna do that. But I like downloaded it and I was like, hey, I'm on a flight to Colorado. It's a 3-hour flight. It's a 2.5-hour movie. So I was like, this is just like, I'm gonna be distracted by like the window and by like people moving, so I won't fully be like too into it to make it really sad. But it's also the only thing I can focus on, so I'll still be into. And then it made me sad. It was really good.
But to round it all off,
Sorry,
Great Cosmic Mother. I find it difficult. Like, I love talking to you guys about it because you guys are like, meet me at that level. And honestly, I think that you guys have gone further with it, and I can't wait to like learn from you guys. But it's just hard to like reel it back day to day, you know, if you run into people or you want to have these conversations and you have to like
Adjust.
like you have to adjust, and
yeah.
and you can't say scary words like communism
It's also like
or socialism.
Yeah, it's
I
also
can really
hard to.
understand that.
Yeah.
It's hard to come to terms with the fact that most people, especially like where we are, that you want to talk, that you are talking to, don't want to learn and or hear this.
Yeah.
And that's like a hard thing to like come to terms with as well, because then you just have to be like, I'm not even gonna try.
I know, and it I feel like a lot of people have this like head in the sand mentality, and I think that's what's lends itself to where we are today.
Real and true.
Like, they act as though you're being aggressive by just simply having a conversation and like sharing what you've learned.
Yeah.
And
it's because they can't, a lot of, I don't know, this has been like a huge thing for me too, is like the mourning of have the people that won't come on the journey with you. You know, the majority of people are not going to come on this journey with us.
Yeah.
And it's
And
sad.
we have to leave them in the past,
Yeah.
and we have to move forward with the people who want to.
And it's like, it makes you sad because you want them to like be enlightened in a way, and you want them to
see it for
but not everybody is meant for it. I don't know,
Not everybody's meant for it, and not everybody's equipped to, because it's like like learning these things
the
is
thing.
like inherently very uncomfortable.
We've also like just touched the surface of it.
exactly.
Yeah, but it's like a super uncomfortable thing. Like, I have to remind myself how I felt the first few times, like when I was getting radicalized on Tumblr at the age of like 15, and like learning these things. Like, it's deeply uncomfortable, and there are some people that just like aren't meant or equipped to like handle that. And like, it's not like, I don't want it to sound like a boys will be boys, like, just let them be, and it's the whatever, like, it's harmless. Like, it's not that. Like, obviously, ideally everybody would want to learn more about like the systems and world that we live in, but like it's more of like a protect your energy thing. Like, there are some people that just like aren't gonna do it, so don't waste your time or like burn yourself out trying to, you know, talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And the feeling that you have when you do talk to people and you're feeling like you need to hold back, like, that's an important feeling to feel too. And there's something to be learned in those emotions, so I wouldn't run from those emotions either, as uncomfortable and painful as they are. I would sit with them and figure out what they're trying to teach you.
Yeah, because it's isolating, I think, is like the feeling that I get. And so I avoid it, which further feels isolating, right? So it's like kind of a cycle that perpetuates, but just in all aspects, maybe not just in like more serious topics, just allowing yourself to be known and to express where you're at and what your personality is and your feelings and whatnot about just the life that you're living. It's vulnerable to let people into that. But it also is going to be like the most, I guess, that's how you build community and friendship and all of that. So
one of my teachers' catchphrase is creativity thrives in vulnerability, and that's been really helping me recently, and opening up and being vulnerable and Yeah.
Which teacher?
Passer.
I was gonna say that quote was ringing in my head, and I was like, wait, which one of them is it?
The clown himself. Passer.
Not a clown.
Clown with honor, like
clown
I say
with
clown, like
Court jester.
court
Yeah.
gesture.
Okay,
Like,
okay,
that is
highest
paid.
honor. Okay,
Yeah.
period. Okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
Bella, what's your media?
Honestly, I just because like to track us on time because we kind of have gone a bit over. I feel like my topic was kind of like like just like my life.
Okay.
For like this.
I have to say, every time we do this, my cup feels full.
Yes.
I
I
love
know.
hanging out with you guys.
I love
and
hanging
hearing
out with
about
y'all
what
so much.
inspires you, what you're going through, and I can't wait to see how it grow. And yeah,
I know. Thank
and with
God.
that
wraps.
thank you for that wraps. Thank you for tuning in.
To another episode. See you next week.
See you
On the
next week, guys. It's gonna be better
bus.
next week for me. I promise.
It will be.
Pray
for me.
Amen.
Be.
We're
Pray for
claiming that.
Amen. Hallelujah.
We're claiming that.
Prayers.